WATERSHIP DOWN by Richard Adams, published in 1972. Synopsis: when an unknown danger threatens a warren of rabbits, several of them, they set out on their own on this journey to find and build a new home for themselves. And Hazel, Fiver, and their companions, they must overcome a host of obstacles in pursuit of that goal, in a world that it turns out to be far more dangerous than any of them previously imagined. Should you read this book? Yes, it's a good book, especially when you account for the unique way in which the story is told. The focal characters aren't just rabbits, they're rabbits that act like rabbits. Sure, this means they're not relatable, but they don't have to be. They're still captivating to watch. As much as I loved reading the Redwall books back in the day and the Chronicles of Narnia, the animals in those books might as well have been people. And WATERSHIP DOWN, it builds. I love it when stories grow and evolve throughout. It seems like it's going to be about one thing, but it keeps adding in these new elements and these new characters. It occasionally does shift directions, but it doesn't lose its momentum in doing so. It meanders without getting lost, and that's a really tricky thing to do. The characters are also likable, especially Bigwig. They aren't all terribly developed, but again, they don't have to be. Hazel and Bigwig are more than enough to keep readers invested. But I do wish that Fiver was more developed, given his prominence in this story. He doesn't have enough of an arc for me. He drives events because of what he sees, not because of what he does. I also had issues with the beginning of the book. As great as it is to see a story evolve so drastically over the course of an entire novel, it starts off really slow. I had difficulty buying into what set everything into motion in the first place, because the legitimacy of Fiver's abilities hadn't been established yet. Once the characters set out, they really had no clear direction, no goal. I didn't know what I was supposed to be rooting for. And I didn't care for the fables the rabbits kept on telling, because they didn't seem remotely necessary. Heck, I hardly remember any of the fables in spite of how often they popped up. Fables, they focus on the lessons they convey, not on the stories surrounding them. They don't focus on their characters. And what's with the strange blending of terminologies? The rabbits know what roads, gates, brick culverts, they know what all these words are, and yet certain things like cars and hedgehogs and foxes, they don't. They have their own words for them, and I didn't really understand why that was. I'm guessing this all stems from the rabbit superstitions and fears of certain man-made artifacts, as well as the fables they have concerning certain animals, but I still didn't find it necessary or beneficial. However, in the end, I still think you should read WATERSHIP DOWN. The beginning, yes, it's very slow, but it builds throughout, and the ending is surprisingly epic. Do the constant fables hurt the flow of the story? Absolutely they do, but they aren't enough to derail how fun and inventive the rest of the book is. Anyway, that's all I've got. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Peace.